Good afternoon. My name is Larry Klayman. You know me as the founder of both Judicial Watch and now Freedom Watch. I'm a former federal prosecutor, and I'm chairman and general counsel of Freedom Watch, freedomwatchusa.org. I'm coming to you today to talk about our judicial selection strike force and why we need better, constitutionally minded judges on the bench that actually follow the law and don't make up the law. First of all, we can see what's happening with regard to the intelligence agencies. And if you don't have a judge that's going to protect the interests of the American people, like Judge Richard Leon, who we did an original case that we brought against the NSA and CIA and enjoined them from conducting unconstitutional surveillance, we, the American people, are left defenseless. We cannot depend on congressional committees. They're politicians. In fact, intelligence committees cover things up. So we've gone back to Judge Leon and asked him for an emergency hearing on what's been going on with the CIA and the NSA, gathering all of not just our telephonic metadata, but in addition, gathering information through our smart television sets, cell phones, internet, social media, spying on hundreds of millions of Americans. And we have a client by the name of Charlie Strange. His wife is Mary Ann Strange. They were plaintiffs in these cases against the NSA and CIA, and Mary Ann Strange actually had her computer turned on to scare her. They are a family which are Gold Star families. Their son, Michael, was a Navy SEAL Team 6 assignee. He was an NSA cryptologist and died in a mission called Extortion 17. And they were never able to get information about that, and we had to bring a lawsuit. And it's clear that the intelligence agencies and or the FBI or other government sources were trying to scare the Stranges by literally turning on their computer and photographing them. So this is confirmation that what came out through WikiLeaks just the other day is truly going on, and it's part of our case. And that's why we need better judges, because most judges would not stand up to these intelligence agencies. They're manipulated by them, or they've been appointed by President Clinton or President Obama, and since most of this illegality occurred during those administrations, they won't touch it. Now let's also talk about something else that's going on, and that is the new immigration order of President Trump, which calls for a 90-day moratorium on immigration from certain predominantly Muslim countries, so we can come up with a better vetting process so terrorists don't come into the country. Previously, a renegade judge in Washington State, this judge appointed by George W. Bush, enjoined President Trump's immigration order. It went up to the Ninth Circuit, which is very, very far left, and they affirmed that injunction. There were judges in New York State, there were judges in other places of the country that did similar things. These judges were very politicized judges, not just Obama and Clinton appointees, but also Republican appointees. They did not follow the law. The president had the authority to issue this executive order in large part. There may have been some parts of the order that went too far, but that could have been cut back by the courts rather than having the baby thrown out with the bathwater. President Trump has just issued a new immigration order, and predictably, the state of Hawaii, which may be the most beautiful state in the United States next to California and Florida, is also the most corrupt. It's also the home state of former President Barack Obama, who's been running an alternative government out of his new mansion in Kalorama. This judge, Judge Watson, has called for a hearing to enjoin this new immigration order, which is carefully crafted so it takes into account the considerations of the Ninth Circuit and other circuits that invalidated the prior order. It's perfectly legal, but yet this judge, who is an Obama appointee, has set a hearing before the order even goes into effect. Legally speaking, there's no standing to do that. There's no case or controversy to do that. And in fact, when I went into court for Sheriff Joe Arpaio in Washington, D.C. a few years ago, on Obama's executive order granting amnesty to over 5 million illegal aliens, the court said, and this was an Obama appointee, there was no standing. Later, we won the case through a Texas judge, Hanen, and the Fifth Circuit and the Supreme Court, who did find standing. But there's differences of opinion here. And the fact that this Hawaiian judge appointed by Obama would react so quickly before the order even went into effect, one day before it's to go into effect, certainly could have waited a day, shows you how politicized these judges are and how many of them, like this Hawaiian judge, appear to be in the hip pocket of the Democrats who want to destroy President Trump, delegitimize him and destroy him, and that's where we are. And this is why our judicial selection strike force is so important, because there are over 100 vacancies on the federal bench that need to be filled. And we're going to be working with President Trump, recommending good judges. Doesn't matter whether they're conservative, liberal, or moderate, but judges who follow the law and don't do things for political purposes. Because judges are our most important public servants in principle, but the way it's turned out these days, they're our most dangerous public servants because they become, by and large, political hacks on the federal bench, politicians in robes. And that's why the American people are being left defenseless with regard to not just surveillance, mass surveillance of the American people, but with regard to other issues as well, such as this immigration order. Can Hawaii actually say, as they're claiming, that a proper vetting of refugees and others from predominantly Muslim terrorist countries is going to harm their tourism? Is Hawaiian tourism based upon allowing terrorists in to lay on the beach? This is how absurd the whole thing is, and that's why we need better judges. So go to our website at freedomwatchusa.org. Contribute to our cause. We need to vet, that is, screen good judges who can be appointed by President Trump to the bench, who will follow the law and the Constitution, not political hacks, which is by and large what we currently have on the bench. And I've been a lawyer for 40 years. I don't know of any other lawyer that'll say it as straight up as I do, because you pay a price when you tell the truth with judges. They do retaliate. But we're beyond that right now. We're at the point where this country's future hangs in the balance. It's a fight between right and left. Frankly, the two of us cannot coexist. One's going to have to win legally and one's going to have to lose. And that's why Freedom Watch is doing what it can. It's why it needs your strong financial and other support, because we need to ramp up. Because frankly, the forces of the left, largely on the bench, are out to destroy any chance for this country to become great again through President Trump. And I will be critical, where I can be critical. For instance, I don't think he should have fired General Mike Flynn. He shouldn't have made him the fall guy. In fact, who should be the fall guy is President Obama and his surrogates inside of these intelligence agencies, not General Flynn. So these are the kinds of things we need to address. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, freedomwatchusa.org, and support us. We are your public interest group. We are your protector from tyranny in this country. God bless you. God bless America. God save America. Have a good day.